in life. Hail to you and welcome to the stream. My name is Ishka. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Looks like the audio might be a little quiet, but let me know if everything is okay. Welcome to the stream. This is the coverage of the Chinese Masters Championship that just happened. I believe this is the third year in a row for you guys. Joining me today will be Inkin, Firewatch, and Sanlu. Uh, and yeah, what? Uh, Hello, thank you, Sneaky. Um, is this yeah? What year is this for you guys? This is at least the second year. Fourth year. E- Excellent. Well, congratulations on maintaining the community, maintaining and pushing forward and creating new ways to kind of play Vermintide, and not just that, but to like create a community around it, an environment around it. That's really, really hard to do. So congratulations on doing that and completing 4 years of it. Some people tuning in might be like, what is the Chinese Master Championship? Um, let's get into that pretty soon. But yeah, if you could please kind of introduce yourselves a little bit. You can't hear. Oh, I'm just talking to myself, huh? Okay, hold on. Uh, let's see.
We'll make a game of it. We'll have the chat guess what we're all saying based on
Yeah.
Ishka's output.
That would be.
Will that work? All right, go ahead. Let's give that a shot.
All right. Can
Hello.
Okay, good. Wow, I'm just.
can our buttery voices be heard now? Are we good?
Let me see that. Go ahead and say something.
G'day. 1, 2, 3.
Good
Testing.
day, good evening, good night.
Okay, looks like
Depending on
we're
where
good
you
now.
are.
Okay. Always the way. Always.
Hazard, welcome to the stream. DJen, welcome to the stream. Aggro, thank you for that, by the way. First time sub control, welcome to the stream. Yes, okay, so looks like audio is fixed now. I was not just talking to myself. We do have you can see over on the side there our fellow shoutcasters. We were talking about this is their fourth year here, completing the Chinese Masters Championship. And we're going to be talking about what is that. It's another flavor of Vermintide. It's not your typical Deathwish Onslaught type of stuff. They have some new things that they're going to be introducing. We're going to be talking about today. Most importantly, that being Linesman Balance, and how that ties into even something called Linesman Onslaught. So we want to talk about that. But first, let's meet the people, the driving force behind this. So Firewatch.
Yep, hello. If you could please pull up the PowerPoint that I rushed just today. Okay, yep, next slide please. Hello everyone. I'm Firewatch. I make stupid mods. I think some of you in the mod community already know who I am. I've made a lot of mods, but most standout would be Linesman Onslaught and Apocalypse Onslaught and Sekiro Parry sound effect, and also the very infamous Slanesh Chaos Warriors sound effect mod. I've been playing Vermintide for I think around 2 to 3 years with 1.8k hours, but I mostly play rhythm games, and Vermintide is like just a little bit of a hobby that I do. And so, next slide, please. For the Chinese Masters Championship, it's basically the Onslaught series, but for the people in China. So this year it's organized from the 29th of January to the 3rd of February, and we have 3 tiers instead of 4. So tier 1 would be Cataclysm 1 Death Wish Onslaught Plus. Tier 2 is Cataclysm 3 Death Wish Onslaught Plus, and tier 3 is Cataclysm 3 Death Wish Linesman Onslaught. So, next slide, please. So for the people who aren't who don't know much about modded, and for those who have just look at the stream for the first time, so Cataclysm 3 is basically one of the Weave game modes for Vermintide, and it's a upgrade of Cataclysm 1, mostly increasing the health and mass of players. As you can see from the right side, on Catac 1, a gas rat would have 90 HP, and on Catac 3, a gas rat would have 150 HP. So there's changes to mass and health, and also the health to lords and monsters. And then we go on to the other mutator, which is Death Wish. So Death Wish just massively increases the enemy stagger resistance and makes it so that you can't really easily push yourself out of bad situations, and also reduces the stagger bonus coefficient just to make sure that some of the ranged weapons aren't too overpowered. And also, we also have Onslaught Plus, which is a variation of Onslaught that aims to make the game more difficult by spawning more enemies, more specials, and also reworking the events. So for Onslaught Plus, you have specials of max of 6 with 30 to 70 seconds intervals, reworked hordes, a lot more enemies, and also very much more monsters and interesting triggers and events as well. So next slide, please. So, China's Masters Championship is similar to Onslaught series, but also in the way that it's organized, it's a little bit different. Now, the Chinese Masters Championship is a very community organized effort. So, as you can see, all of the money you can see here and all the item rewards you can see, all are being donated from the Chinese community in order to run this event. I'll say you can take a look at the money reward for tier 3. Champion would get around 2,000 yuan, or in US dollars, it would be 274. First runner up, second runner up, yada yada. This goes through on and on. But not only do you have these money rewards, you also have item rewards. So, say if you look down below for tier 3, the champion gets the snake frame. First runner up gets a skin bundle. Second runner up gets another skin bundle. If you take a look at tier 1, sometimes the community will have these special rewards for players who are good at some stuff. So in this case, it would be the player who kills the most specials in tier 1 would get a special prize. For legal reasons, I cannot tell you what that prize is because Twitch, but and there's also a participation award for everyone, including a lottery for a crate of Red Bull from Austria. So if you take a look at the right, this will be the tournament map pools for Flemis, yes, special unnameable prize, yes. For the tournament maps of this year. So primarily we will go through tier 2 and tier 3 in this stream. Tier 2 would be Garden of Moor, War Camp, Athel and Louis, Old Haunts, and for Tier 3 it would be Screaming Bell, Against the Grain, a Pit, and War Camp. So all of the rewards, the value added together would be amounted to 5,660 yuan, or around 792 US dollars.
I think
Yes, a redacted price. Yeah.
I think that's incredible. I mean, once upon a time there was a screenshot challenge, but I really love this idea of most specials killed. Just like things that you're going to do in the game, in playing during your event. That is a really cool way to incentivize your players. That's really cool.
Yep, it's a very much a community effort, and it's amazing to see a lot of people coming together in order to organize an event for what I consider a very niche and a very small player base, specifically for modded. I'm sure in official realm there's like a lot of players, but for modded, it's a very tight knit community to the point where you could consider everyone else a friend or even a family. So it's very amazing to see these people come together and to even offer prize pools for the event that they are running.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that it's a self-funded event as well, um, so cool to see. So,
Yep,
and
and I think if you could put on the next slide, please. So first we're gonna go over the tier 3, the new Onslaught mod, which would be Linesman Onslaught. And next, yep, so Linesman Onslaught is basically, let me go to my, okay. Linesman Onslaught is meant to be an alternative to Dutch Spice, both Dutch Spice and Dutch Spice Tourney, while also keeping the uniqueness of the mods that came before it and also spinning off with various new ideas. So the main goal is to keep true to the feeling of official realm while also reducing artificial difficulty like too many shields or too many monsters. And the other goal is to make frontlining and backlining just more enjoyable and more fun. More emphasis on frontline skill with unique horde compositions and also unique pacing compared to other onslaught modes. And also for backline, it would be around like a special count of like barely manageable and also very stupid. And also this is a more like a addition and observation is to like attempt to force people into very shitty situations, but you get out of that and it becomes like a very memorable moment where you can talk with your friends. And one of the main features would be a true, sorry, would be a true mixed horde. So that would be berserkers plus storm vermin or mauler or chaos warriors. Mixed faction hordes, which are both chaos and skaven coming to kill you together. A rework of bestigers, flag bearers, and also specials coordinated strike system, and just a lot of tweaks towards the underlying logic of Vermintide. So maybe how the conflict director works, how horde works, how specials works. A lot of time has been dedicated to tweaking them in order to provide a fun and difficult onslaught experience.
I love that idea of rehauling beastly gores. You said flag bearers as well, banner bearers as well. Something that really sticks out to me is because I've covered a number of tournaments and I've covered a number of Chinese teams. The whole what's the word I'm looking for? Discipline of how the front line and back line approach comes out when you have that person who's going to be uh your special sniper. You know, the person who's going to be backlining for you. I have seen such a incredible force of 4 players playing together and creating a pocket of space for that backliner. So I'm really interested to see how that maybe has evolved or is expanded in these upcoming videos.
Yep. I think it's quite similar. I don't think it's changed that much, but something that has changed is definitely how Frontline approaches a horde or approaches how they make sure that the backline is being protected. So the other mod that this Chinese Master Championship is using is Linesman Balance. So next slide, please.
Um, I'll also quickly just link the Linesman Onslaught documentation in the Twitch chat for
Oh
those
yeah,
who are
please.
interested.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no
Thank
worries.
you. And so for Linesman Balance is mainly kickstarted by a group of people, but mainly Sanlu 九九
嗯，
Sanlu
怎么了？
读一下吧，我忘记了。
你是要我说哪些？
第一行的名字忘记了。
蛋仔
Yeah, okay, so so the balance mod was mainly kickstarted by Dancai, who was just frustrated with other balance mod and also aimed to make one that was fun. And for this, we've also collaborated with Isaac, the creator of Paragonage, to help make the code for the balance mod. So the main goal is just to balance Vermintide around Onslaught mods, primarily Linesman Onslaught, made by me, to explore new ideas. So the main philosophy would be to preserve joy instead of eliminating it. Players should be free to choose between min-maxing DPS or sacrificing it in turn for team-wide buffs from a wide pool of viable characters. So on this basis, a lot of characters have received a variety of new choices with very generous stats to aid in the unending slaughter of Vermintide. And Linesman Balance is also was also made in order to help new players get into mod easier, just to make sure that they have a good experience overall, and to make sure that they're having lots and lots of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you, something I think I would like to kind of address is Sanlu. We were able to get a little bit of an information, a background of you, Firewatch, but maybe Sanlu wants to talk a little bit about himself, give us a little bit of an introduction, something kind of just a quick hello.
他们要自我介绍，可能会说一下你如何玩Vermintide，还有你自己对 mod 的一些的经历。用中文可以的吧？然后我会翻译。
行，大家好，我叫三路，就是苏安队伍的一员。然后我们队伍主要有米诺、狗哥、皮卡丘4人组成。本人呢也打过很多次的猛攻比赛，一开始都是从老猛开始，然后有过几届荷兰蜡还有低猛的比赛。反正简单就这样吧。
好好，谢谢谢谢。Sanlu has been playing modded for a while. This time his team is Minnow and also Minnow and also 2 other people. I forgot the name. I'm sorry. But he's been playing modded for a while. He's also participated in a lot of tournaments, from Onslaught to the recent the Dutch Spice tourney, and also even some of the Dance Onslaught series, the Dance Onslaught tournaments.
Excellent. Well, we will be watching their team play. It will be. I had it written down. Team Zwan, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. We'll see those teams play. That'll be the T3 we talked about earlier. So let's go ahead and take a look here at Linesman Onslaught, and we'll be taking a look here for the perspective of a Slayer. It'll be the map Old Haunts. Now, guys, if any of the audio is a little too loud, a little too quiet, let me know. We do have to tailor it. So if the preview video is too loud and we can't hear Firewatch or Inkin or myself, please let me know, and we can kind of fix the audio as we go. So here we see a Slayer and their team kind of getting pushed back. There's a ton of storms. Tell us, Firewatch, what are we looking at here? What's the anticipation?
So first thing you're gonna very much notice is you're gonna be seeing some Chaos Marauders, you're gonna be seeing Maulers mixed up with this Storm Rimmon Horde right here. So I want to preface this is that this is on tourney balance. Linesman is available or designed for both TBT and also Linesman Balance at the same time. Linesman will detect what balance mode you're running and then change its difficulty in accordance. So, for example, on Linesman Balance, you're gonna get a lot more ambience. You're gonna be getting a lot less ambushes, just to like make sure that things are fun. While on TBT, you'll be having more vector hordes and more ambushes in general, because TBT people want to experience the difficulty. And so what you're going to be seeing here majorly is you're going to be looking at some of the mixed hordes. So right now I should be showing the Mauler Berserkers, you have the monks, and then you have Stormvermin all coming at you at the same time. So compared to other Onslaught mods, this is definitely a unique thing for Linesman. And so another unintended effect by doing this is that this makes the hordes way more dangerous to approach, because when you have the same breed, they're going to be repeating the same attack, so it's very easy to synchronize their attacks. Oh, synchronize their attacks. So what I've done by including both berserkers and also normal elites together, which is to like scramble their attack patterns, just to make it so that you have to use your RMB button way more often. So it's a very it's a blend of both proactive and reactive combat at the same time. You have to both anticipate where the enemy is going, what attack they're going to do, and if you do make a mistake, that's an ad.
Yeah, we can't escape the
We can't
magic of
escape the
ads.
There's corporations, and corporations need their view count. Okay, I can't
Yeah.
control that.
I'll go down there.
But yeah, so if you do make a mistake, you have to quickly press that right mouse button to block, and overall, it's a very exhilarating feeling.
This is principle to play.
While we're going over this, would you like me to share the Linesman Onslaught and Daredevil changes? Like, do you want me to share that in chat? The link for that?
I've got the document pinned at the moment.
Oh, great.
So many.
I mean, if you guys want to, I don't think we need to unless you like ask me some questions specific to the document, but should be fine overall.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that, Ink, and making sure you got that in there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Something I saw in this, one of the documentations was about there were some event changes, and especially here, like in Old Haunts. What is something that we could expect, not just viewing, but like as you play this difficulty, it's not just, hey, things are harder and we have mixed hordes and things have more health. There's a change to the map. Now, would you say the event changes are subtle, or is it something that really defines what you're playing?
All of the changes are relatively subtle. This is because most of the events of Linesman are taken from Dutch Spice Tourney, which the events are pretty much very complete. For Old Haunts, what you're seeing right here, I only tweaked just like a little bit. Because on Dutch Spice Tourney, on Old Haunts, it's known for the unrelenting difficulty, specifically the end event where I assume Core overtuned it and had it spawn like a lot of disablers to the point where you needed to play Shade for this map. So what I did for Onslaught is just to like reduce the difficulty by a teeny tiny bit, not so that it's become completely easy, but just so that Old Haunts is completable with any sort of compositions that you have. So right now, from my knowledge, there are two teams that have beaten Old Haunts on Linesman. One being the team that you're seeing right now, Waste, Haname, Rosama, and also Squeaks, and the other team being Uvis. If I remember, it should be Uvis, Ortega, Julian, and also Coffee. So the event tweaks are very subtle unless we talk about like Screaming Bell. Screaming Bell has a very funny history. Screaming Bell was basically the event is a meme because it spawns around 100 plague monks, and also at the end you will see a very special guest, a massive rattling gun. We call him Bob the Builder because he helped fixes your HP problems.
That's
I'm looking.
amazing.
I want to see that. 100 monks. That's an entire. What is it? An abbey? That's an entire abbey worth. But this is Old Haunts going into the temple. This is kind of like those event changes. We have seen a little bit of this. Ooh, nice. horizontal from the Skaven.
Oh man.
And this is actually pretty tough.
I'm
This
dropping
is,
in. No, no.
I think, one of the harder events to complete in the
It is
tournaments that we've seen.
definitely.
The legendary
Yep.
split strat.
Yeah, Engines of War and Old Haunts are very hard events that require very specific and well thought out strategies to be completed.
Okay, well, we're
Engines of
cleared
War
inside.
being the mid
Yeah,
event
we're
and
cleared
Old
inside as
Haunts
well.
being generally
Super
the
chilling.
end event. So right here they've built a Battle Wizard just to help
Yeah,
up
that
to
climb
clean
up
up
is
the
kinda
trash and
fucked.
also the Berserkers for the end event.
We all gotta run.
Footnight for a lot of the hook protection and to protect the Slayer. A Slayer very obvious for DPS elite damage and also Waystalker just
Technically
for
optimal to sit
the
here for
health
20
regen
minutes and
sustain and
focus.
also the backline power.
Technically.
So fucked. Dude. Okay.
Now, in this change,
And of
what
course we are
type of
optimal
things are we
gamers.
seeing maybe for
Every aspect
Slayer?
of our
What kind of
plays
changes are we
fully
seeing for
optimal.
that? Is there like has there been any
For
talent
Linesman
changes?
Balance?
Oh yeah, that too. For Linesman itself,
Second
do
hook.
you do any sort
Alright,
of
let's go second hook.
career enhancements?
Okay, I'm up.
Meh.
For Linesman Balance, let me
Enemies
bring up the
enemies
balance
out,
stuff
okay.
real quick because even I've forgotten.
What's a third
Hold
belt?
on, I need to make sure it loads on my iPad.
Let's be careful, a little dropping behind.
So for Slayer, generally, because Slayer is already very good, but Slayer has to compete with the Strength Potion vending machine Grail Knight. That's why most of the buffs
man.
given to him are to his damage instead of utilities, because Slayer is Slayer.
Drink.
Slayer is the DPS machine.
That's fine.
And so most of the talents are there to make sure that
Thank
he can
you.
output
Another
insane amounts of
box hit.
DPS while feeling relatively safer compared to Grail Knight. I would say that would be like the general changes to Slayer for Linesman Balance.
No,
You got
that was
chaos
all
for your
skill.
overheaded.
No,
and
no, that was all skill. All skill.
Did he get comrades?
Time to
Dave?
comrade.
You can hear them. That was a mean overhead that
Stop beating, stop beating, bro. We're
the
just
Foot
screwed
Knight
here.
took, but back on his feet,
Can
we'll
go
be
to
all right.
for
This
now, I guess.
potions being given out to our wizard,
Ooh, maybe.
and that was a very clean temple run.
Champions. I think we can walk forward.
Yeah, it was
That
actually pretty smooth.
very clean,
There's a hook behind.
very
Hook
smooth
behind.
indeed.
Way behind in general.
And basically, I've had a lot
hero
of people
animation
tell me that the pacing on Linesman Onslaught feels
some of
different
them.
compared to Dutch. Now, I genuinely don't know why people say this. If I guess it's because
getting
I've
gashed from
done
both
like a
sides.
lot of tweaks towards the
It's
horde
kinda rough, actually.
compositions
Oh, I'm getting
and
leech from
also
behind.
the way the horde works. So
Okay.
instead of like spawning really far away, the horde tries to spawn as close as possible while being still out of view in order to reduce the downtime
We're chilling.
between the waves and to make sure that you get as
We're
like a
chilling,
steady
Just hold it.
flow of THP and also intensity on your way.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a thing that
Thank
people
you.
say. Linesman pacing feels different. There's also very low amounts of bullshit. So like say the game won't spawn like I don't know like 4 Blightstormers and then to kill you. Instead, it will be more or less like a group of specials or a group of like predetermined composition of
I think
specials.
we can back up all the way
So
to the
another
wall. I think we get
mechanic
it.
of
And then we dodge
Linesman
every
is the
everyone.
rework of the coordinated special strike system. I think it's been called as the spooky wave because it plays a very spooky sound. I don't know if we're gonna be hearing this in the clip, but what the spooky wave is that if you've played Dutch or Plus or Onslaught, you know that when specials come with Horde, they are especially difficult to deal with
Uh-oh.
because one frontline has to protect the backline, but they have to also
Oh, yeah,
take unavoidable chip damage
oh,
from
that's
some
a
of the
big ult
specials.
reset.
And
Holy.
two, the backline has to make sure that they're not too far away, not too close to Horde, as so to not get hit, but also they have to deal with the specials at the same time. So the spooky wave is to emulate this and to make it
we can push up
happen
Horde,
more
right?
often, while also having custom compositions. So say one of the spooky waves involves, I think, 5 rattling guns and 3 warp fires. Another spooky wave has 3 gas rats and 1 blightstormer. all of these are experience. All these special compositions are from my own experience. I've died to these compositions before, and I think they're very
Let's
difficult. So
Kingdom.
that's why I add them into
Kill.
Linesman, and I try to make it
Line,
happen
watching
as
melee.
much as possible. So this is a way to increase the difficulty without just increasing the damage or mass of the enemies or increasing the enemy numbers.
Yeah, no, we're referencing that PDF earlier. Yeah, the specials. It says there's a max of 6, but only a max
Might
of
get
3
full soon.
of the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is just a different type of pressure because it also says it's intervals of 30 to 70, and I don't know if I'm getting too deep into this, but is it a is there a randomizer anywhere between 30 to 70 seconds it will spawn a
I think
special?
Careful.
30 to 70, that you might be
Don't have
looking
that.
at
It's dead.
That's for
because
Onslaught
in that
Plus.
section I make a comparison. Yeah, that's for Onslaught Plus. For Linesman, it should be 30 to 40, 30 to 43 seconds.
Wow.
If
Yeah, so
I'm
it's even higher frequency.
Yep. So for comparison, Dutch is 25 to
Put down.
50. Now,
Okay.
the reason why I don't use the same timers as Dutch is because Dutch's timers, although you might run into some situations where the timers feel very high or the timers feel very low, and this sometimes leads to some inconsistencies between
What's that?
hosts.
Wait,
So the reason why I picked 30 to
Probably word.
43
This
is
word's
just
definitely
to
word.
shorten or compress the gap
Let's
between the
draw.
maximum timers and the
Okay.
minimum timers.
I see.
So this
Charge.
version is actually pretty I wouldn't say pretty outdated, but outdated in the sense that I've done some tweaks to the specials now. One of the slots will use a timer of
Let's wait
10 to
for
23 seconds just to make sure to keep backline occupied. And in general, it's
charge. There's a hook in
the
there.
specials per minute should still be relatively same
And
with Dutch.
Okay, and that's all with specials. And so when you were talking about horde composition, especially when you're talking about true horde composition, this documentation says there will always be 8 to 10 elites within the hordes,
healing
and there will
here,
always be
ammo for
one
boss.
chaos warrior in every chaos wave. So
Yeah.
it's just that level of
There's a
you know,
blade.
you're not just like, oh, there's a bunch of gores running at me. It's not just a bunch of clan rats like you have right here. Like we see mixed
They're doing what now?
berserkers and monks as well.
Oh, we gotta. Perfect.
And here's some more chaos warriors coming in. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of just it allows your
Ambush?
enemies to be fully dynamic.
Is that? Yeah. This is
Yep.
scary.
And so
Let's try to
Oh,
try
they're
to
getting
scroll up a
pinched
little
a
bit,
little
but
bit
you
here.
also
that's
see
I don't
that
see.
yeah. I don't think that's visible.
in every wave it's not going to be like
There's a hook in there.
strictly one type of elite. It's going to be always two
It is,
types
but I
coming
think
at
it's
you
wrong.
at the same time.
Yeah, it is.
And so
Good bomb.
it helps to
Dead.
lead to again a very reactive and proactive reactive and passive type
Okay.
of frontlining. Although I think in the video they're in a little bit of a pickle. Their backline has just died.
Yeah, they got pinched and now they're getting pushed down the hill. And these leeches and even
respawn.
this fire rat just has such a wonderful advantage above them, right? Just okay. Kruber's able to take him out,
Okay.
but losing that backline, it's gonna be our
There's
foot
a-
knight is gonna have to kind of create some space and find a way to shoot that handgun
both
off.
sides,
And now you
or-
have a lot laying on the pressure of the wizard.
That's bad. Okay.
Oh, the
Yeah.
rattling, brutal. With it, is that gas or is that fire rat? It's gas rat.
That's gas plus rattling. So another feature is that one special will always come with horde. It's usually going to be either a rattling or a fire rat. Sometimes leeches, and occasionally you will have manual hook rats being placed into horde, just
Okay.
to make the hooks extra
That feels pretty
scary.
hard here.
So what you're seeing here is that specials often try to come in groups of two. Uh, because specials alone they aren't really that dangerous.
Oops, my
It's
bad.
usually a combination which makes them very dangerous in groups, such as maybe a gas rat into rattling, or a warp fire
That was
into
better than
Hawk.
I could have
Nice.
hoped on.
These are very
Yeah.
dangerous combinations. And so while I'm trying to design a Linesman Onslaught, I'm trying to think from like the conflict director POV. Like, how can I make this team? How can I piss off this team without making them rage quit? Or how can I kill them effectively? Oh, I should send a warp fire in order to block the vision of the front line, and I should have a assassin just so that the front line has to communicate
Maybe we
with
can hold this
backline.
drop down or this climb up
And
over.
so this basically helps to foster a lot of
This guy's where's
teamwork,
though.
and also it's just way more interesting in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, especially this race up the hill, so that we get our Slayer was doing some move tech to get the elf back up. As soon as they did, they had a couple of
Big
seconds of
reset.
breathing room,
Holy.
kind of like, how are we gonna approach this? Because now they're up the hill, now they get it's a mountain, but then down the hill, you know, like now it's that. Okay, that fire rat was dead, but that'll be hard, right? You're going uphill, downhill. You got a fire rat just constantly firing at you. There's a couple of gutter runners that came in, but really, I think the pressure is coming from the leeches. And where they are, particularly in the map, you really have enemies coming from two sides constantly. He's getting tripped up there on the torch.
Nice.
Oh, right. That also reminds me is that on Linesman, ambushes are way more deadly in the sense that they come from all directions, and by all directions, I genuinely mean it.
Yeah, good point.
So they're gonna be trying to surround you at all times, and instead of like again, this is more like a different way to do difficulty. Instead of increasing the enemy count again, it's more of like the subtle tweaks towards the horde, subtle tweaks towards specials, and also pacing, which makes I'd say which makes Linesman
No.
feel way more unique and distinct from the other currently existing mods.
Okay. Well, would you like to? Are we moving anywhere? Are there any upcoming events for this particular video, or should we move on to Engines of War with a Grail Knight perspective?
Move on
we
to
still have a bit to roll.
we'll go over the like Grail Knight a little bit, just like a little bit, because I want to talk about one more thing, and then we can jump over to Linesman Balance.
Okay.
So one more thing that I want to mention is that I don't know if they'll show up here. Because I really forgot, but there are also the tweaks towards the Bestigors and also the banner. So for Bestigors, their charge has been made significantly. They won't send you into space. Instead, they will just knock you down onto the ground. So Bestigors are more fun now, and also they don't knock away enemies like their Moses parting the Red Sea. And for banners, instead of like buffing enemy stats again, instead they'll try to stay at a range so that backline has enough time to kill the banner. And also, if you do happen to like accidentally go into banner range, instead of like buffing the enemy HP or buffing enemy damage, it'll simply just spawn another wave that you have to deal with. So it's like a little more tweaks towards banners as well. And so, going back to some of the ambience, ambience here uses a very different breed pack. So breed pack is basically a table of groups of enemies that the conflict director will cycle through to spawn them between the maps. And so for the ambience, I use Dense Onslaught's ambience, which is made by Osmium. He's helped me make Linesman Onslaught, and he's teach me a lot about making Onslaught mods as well. So the ambience here is generally categorized as having more elites compared to other Onslaught mods as well. Though in order to compensate, I also lower the ambience amount lower than Dutch. And so also you'll see that even with an arm breaker, this team of very good players, all with snake frames, still have to like give up a lot of ground in order to deal with the incoming running attacks, and also uh, a lot of the berserkers are breaking through the front line. So horde composition has been made to uh, I think more of the correct way would be saying oh, let me reorganize my thoughts. Okay. So horde compositions have generally been made to break through frontline, because once frontline collapses, then it's basically GG. If frontline dies, then backline dies, no one's shooting specials, and the other only frontline, I guess, also dies at the same time. And so that would be all for hordes. I don't want to talk too much because again, our emphasis would be on the tournament itself. So now we'll go on to Linesman Balance. So funny thing is is that Linesman Onslaught was not made first. It was Linesman Balance, and then the people in China approached me. They said that they wanted a Onslaught mod, and it just happened that I already had one prepared. So both the Chinese currently use Linesman Balance to play Linesman Onslaught. So if we could, we could switch to minnows into the next run with RV. Yep. So going through one of the major balance changes, Ranger Veteran has had a lot being changed to him. So in order to take down Waystalker, who has a monopoly over the backline economy, Ranger Veteran has received a lot of buffs, specifically his level 10 third talent, which would normally just only increase attack speed, has been reworked into a talent that makes it so he refunds 10% ammunition when he kills a special or elite, and also increases his reload speed. So what you're seeing here is a very much buffed up RV, soloing a lot of the specials on his own. So you can see that he reloads very fast. He's able to basically keep up with almost all of the specials, and it's made it so backline you have more careers to choose from when you're trying to pick a backline character. Now RV also has some of his level, I think level 20 talents reworked. The ales now give 33% healing effectiveness, so think of the sister talent, sister passive, and also 100% more cooldown reduction once you drink free ale. And so it's made RV a lot of fun to play on. It's also made RV a lot more accessible to newer players, because handgun has a lot of one shot body shot breakpoints, and RV has just become a very fun and competent backline character. And this is one of the major changes. Another one would be Sister Javelin. So the one that grants, I think it's a level 10, the third one, level 10 third row. No, the level 10. I forgot the name. It's called a Briar's Malice, I think.
Or
Yep,
sister,
it's called
yeah.
Briar's Malice. Yeah. So that one has been changed to Sister getting 2 guaranteed crits. Uh, Sister getting 2 guaranteed crits for every ult the party makes. So this makes Sister a really good with a career that can consistently ult, such as Slayer or Foot Knight. And this on itself has made it so you have a lot of natural team compositions with Sister. And Sister has also become a very fun backline, specifically if you run a Javelin with Sister, you'll get a lot of one-shot body shot breakpoints. You also have a lot of crowd control from her ult, and Sister has been very enjoyable for myself. And this is for backline, and also for frontline, there has been a lot of buffs. For example, you have Zealot, who has Feel Nothing being buffed. If he t- so Victor no longer charges forward, but instead he stays in one place, and for all of the damage that he's taken, he's gonna get it back. 50% of the damage taken, he's gonna be regenerating that, and also the he's also going to be getting a lot of cooldown reduction for every enemy hit during his ult. So another one would be, if you could please switch to GK, the Empire in Flames one, also from Minnow. Yep, over here. And so one of the buffs for GK would be his Infinite Cleave. I believe it was like a few. Oh no, it should be soon. Since yep. So the GK, I think you guys all know that Fat Shark buffed GK back to like Infinite Cleave. We all agree that it was stupid for official one, but on modded, however, it's still a lot of fun just to like press a button and then you delete a lot of stuff. So this has significantly increased GK's elite killing power. It has also made GK much more accessible to new players. You can see that GK has basically soloed a mass group of elites, although there are still more coming. So I believe that the Infinite Cleave one isn't really suited for official role, but on modded, I think it's an okay talent overall, and there's definitely an opportunity cost to be made here. Because if you take Cleave, then usually what you want to run is crit chance, and if you run the crit talent, uh, it should be the 10-2. It's the same as TBT, and if you take the crit talent, that means you have to take a Witch Hunter in order to make the most use out of that crit talent. But of course, you can still not take Witch Hunter. You can take Mace and Sword, but in this case, Amino takes One-Handed Sword because One-Handed Sword is just very good. So these are some of the changes to both backline and frontline. And also we'll be able to see a lot of changes to strategies when using Linesman Balance compared to 20 Balance. So this would be the start of our tier 2 video, which is from Team Not Abuser. If you could show their run, please.
And jump forward a little bit. I don't know.
And
Oh, good.
specifically, we're going to be going over Righteous Stand. It's going to be really quick.
Yeah, okay.
The Righteous Stand mid event. So in Lines and Balance, Shade has been buffed. So now whenever she kills an elite or special,
more.
yep, we want to go Righteous Stand.
Find that for you.
I'll keep talking. So Shade has been buffed, so whenever Shade kills an elite or special with a crit, then she gets automatically proc Blur. But her ult, all of them, she gets her invis removed, but her Cloak of Pain, I think. So for Cloak of Pain now, she gets free Cloak of Pains, free infiltrations in order to do massive amounts of damage. So by taking away the invincibility, invisible, taking away the invisible part of Shade's kit from her ult, it makes it so that you have to be a lot more careful in how you position yourself and in how you want to kill the elites, because you have to chain a lot of elite kills just to keep that invis going on. It's very skill based, although some might not think that, but you can go up to like 70 DPS on Shade if you're like really good. So if you could go to the mid event where they start the kite, please. Yep, over here. So right
They got
now,
a spawn.
usually when you use the turning balance, you'll be kiting as a group together. But in this case, what they're doing is we have both Unchained Ranger Veteran and also Warrior Priest kiting together, while the Shade, instead of kiting with a group, goes to solo the Chaos Spawn, because Shade on Lantern Balance has a lot of buff to the monster damage, so you can see that while the other three are comfortably kiting, Shade has been just absolutely demolishing the Chaos Spawn.
Can you tell me again with Shade and Blur? I don't see that in the documentation for Linesman's Balance. How is Blur working? Is it untouched?
Blur, the base one is untouched, so if you parry an attack and then you dodge, that's a blur proc. That's a blur proc. But if you take one of the level 20 talents, so you can either choose between focus slaying or I forgot the other one.
Oh, chain
But
killer. Okay, killing an elite or
yeah,
special with a headshot now activates blur. Is that a melee headshot or even ranged headshot?
I think it's even ranged.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a good way for setup of what you want to approach after that.
Yep.
That's an interesting.
And so, yep. This is like one of the changes to some of the tactics here. And I think we can move on to maybe, I think we can just directly skip the war camp because I really think it's pretty hard to talk about, and we can jump straight directly into tier 3. So tier 3, which is from Minnows and Sanlu's POV. The team is Minnow, Sanlu, Dog, and OTW AKO. So this is from Sanlu's stream. The maps they are going to play is Screaming Bell against the Grain. What else? Against the Grain, the Pit, and also the War Camp. So I'm gonna hand things over to Sanlu, and he's gonna be explaining some why their team chose the compositions. And also one thing I want to mention is that so the tournament has this very unique rule where you aren't allowed to bring you have to ban 2 careers. By banning I mean you aren't allowed to use 2 careers anymore from the run that you've cleared. So say they clear Screaming Bell with their current composition right now, which would be Witch Hunter, Handmaiden, GK, and Slayer. So when they complete Screaming Bell, they have to choose 2 careers to ban. And for the rest of the tournament, they are not allowed to build a composition using these 2 careers anymore. So I think for this one, 山路你们打完这图之后ban 了什么角色？
这图主要是跟队长跟侍女。
Okay,
我
so
们
right now, oh, that is the banner being planted. Banner being planted basically spawns the wave that you will see pretty soon, I think, or the one that they're fighting right now. So for this map, they've banned. So once they've completed Screaming Bell, they've decided to ban Witch Hunter and also Handmaiden. So 你们选择这张图的角色的时候，有没有什么特别的原因啊？
因为总体4张图的思路是构建在一个保持一个圣杯骑士在场的情况，因为你毕竟也知道这个圣杯骑士，一个强力的横斩大招是吧？
是，
然后主要是当图，都是为了一个快速的稳定推图，一个让队长提供给圣杯的暴击还有斩杀。图布的话主要负责补充 AOE 伤害。
Okay.
就这样。
So, for Screaming Bell, another rule that I forgot to mention is that in case of a tie, the team with the fastest completion time will be chosen as the tiebreaker. So that's why you will see them all 4 of them being really they're going to be pacing really hard here. And so the reason why they picked this comp is so for their general strategy is to make sure that GK is always on the field, because GK here has been I wouldn't say mega buff. GK here has infinite cleave. This allows him to deal with a lot of the pressure from the horde and also from ambience. GK is very strong, that's why they want to keep him as much as possible. And so for this comp, they have Witch Hunter in order to provide the crit damage for crit damage for the entire team, and also for GK to utilize his crit talent way more often. So Witch Hunter is just very good for team-wide buffs, and so that's why they've decided to pick this comp for Screaming Bell. So if you could you skip to the end event? And so we'll also bring over Minos POV. So for Screaming Bell, I'm sure you all noticed if you looked at the document. This is the Myrtos event. Myrtos is a friend of mine. He helped me with Linesman Onslaught, helped me conceptualize a lot of stuff. So for this event on TBT, usually you would try to stay in a specific slot and let the enemies come over to you, right? You hold and then you drop, and then you hold and then you drop, and then you just keep kiting while destroying the chains. So for since there's like 100 plague monks, and also they have handmaiden here, what they've opted for is just to speed run the event. So when they drop down, I think it's gonna be taking a while.
I just want to point out they hit 23 minutes. That is, to me, incredibly fast with the amount of pressure that is on you at all times. Everybody is alive. They have fairly good inventories, like their healing, their potions are up. Doesn't look like anybody's on gray health. Like, that's really crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, 23
So as you
minutes
can,
is quite fast.
23 minutes is very fast for a Screaming Bell. It's a very much a coordinated effort. You have to trust in your team that you can deal with the sudden difficulty spikes. So as you can see here, if you could switch to Minnow's POV, you can see
Let me
that
see.
the
This is
team is splitting
20.
up to break up the chain. And what Minnow is doing here is, since he's playing Handmaiden, we'll just wait until. Yep, I should have it linked somewhere. Oh, that's a little bit too far.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's a tiny little. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This might be a little loud. Give me a second. I will have to change audio. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. So here's is it Minnow or Mino? Minnow?
It's Minnow. Yep. Minnow
Minnow.
here is playing Handmaiden. He's playing a Javelin Handmaiden. Because despite Waystalker being the king of backline, there are still a lot of viable characters. So Handmaiden has been unchanged, untouched from TBT, and you're also going to be seeing Pyro for Against the Grain, Pyro Beams to be specific. So once they complete this horde, I'm just gonna take a look at what Minnow does, and yep.
So I spy the very rare, like, elf axe.
It's excellent, right? So
Yep, the
You
Elfax.
never see that get used anymore.
Elfax is being used, I think, because of the 100 mobility and also the 100 dodges.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Especially
Yeah.
if you're just gonna be spamming, like if the aim of the
Spam.
game is to just spam javelins like all day, then you just run the axe for the stat stick. That makes a lot of
Yep.
sense.
And so what you see here is GK Witch Hunter go to those chains, Slayer went to the right chains, and Handmaiden is gonna go take care of the back chains. So all of the front line is gonna be bait here for our glorious Elf Queen. And so you can see here, Minnow is gonna be just generally trying to keep his teammates alive, although he knows they're gonna die. And so Handmaiden here is gonna be focused on just trying to get to the exit.
come on. Okay, they got the
And here
inches.
in the Destruction, you can see Bob the Builder for a brief moment.
They, you not just like for fun name him that as a community. Like his name in game is Bob the Builder. I love it.
Yep.
That is incredible.
Love it.
And then here it's just Handmaiden running to the exit because there's not really much you have to worry about in the end. So next one would be, I think, Against the Grain. So if you could,
Is that even a
你们打第二张图的时候呢，角色又有什么特别的原因吗？
第二张图的角色嘛，你是指不纳凉是吧？
也是，应该是法二还有
二岗位法二、碎铁、暗影，还有圣杯。
是啊。 So
Okay.
next map is going to be against the grain, and the team composition is going to be Pyro, IB, Shade, and GK. And so you can
A little bit of the
see
blur right there.
Yep. You can see the buffed Shade in action. Now we'll just like watch some of the gameplay footage since the reworked Shade is honestly has a very high skill ceiling.
While
I've played
we're
lines. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, while we're watching this kind of like play out, I did have a question in terms of I guess accessibility. Like, when you see people interested in playing, hey, I want to play some modded ROM. Is fairly easy for people to pick up? Is it easy for people to find teams? Would you say, I don't say easy to pick up, but you know what I mean? Like, is this like a
Yep.
in terms
So a
of
lot of
people finding
effort.
teams to play with?
Yep. So a lot of effort has been made to just like increase the accessibility of modded realm and higher difficulties. This is why, yes, Chinese also has a culture of just directly starting with plus, skipping Onslaught altogether. And so in China, so what they do is they have a QQ group. So QQ is basically a communication app. You can think of it's like equivalent to like Telegram or WhatsApp or I don't know, whatever the fuck you guys use, but it's basically a group chat. And in the group chat, they can basically in group chat they can look for players. It's usually pretty active, and you can pretty much just get a game going in under 10 to 15 minutes. So right now you can see some of the Shade gameplay. I think we can also switch back to Sanlu's POV.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay.
Yep. Specifically, we're gonna be talking about the. Oh, hold on. Yeah, sure, I go. 山路，中国那边的猛攻，大概有多少玩家？
猛攻玩家，让我算算，T3能打 T3的，就是恒辣类型的选手，大概只能算10个左右。然后 T2的话也是10个左右。T1的话，其实也就30个左右吧，可能是，也不算多。
So roughly around 50 to 100, I think. That's a good estimate.
Oh, for the active
But like
modded player base.
active multiplayer base, yeah. But for like the people who can clear Dutch or Linesman, that's around like 10 people. So right now you can see just the pyro beam putting in the work. Also,
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
effort has been. So I think one thing I want to mention is that pyro here is just really good on Linesman because most of the specials are stationary. They're also armored, which makes them like really easy to kill. You can see just like a lot of warp flies, a lot of rattlings. Pyro can also deal with gas rats pretty well because gas gets staggered just from the beam alone. And it just shows that there's a lot of variety for composition, variety for backline, both on Linesman Balance and also on TBT. Because again, Pyro has been unchanged from Tony Balance, so this is just all pure skill from Sanlu.
Yeah, it's little things like that to know where it's like, hey, I can still stagger gas because we saw the gas rat was stuck up on the fence for a second. Just a quick tap, knock him down, turn back around, take care of the fire rat, take care of a couple of these berserkers. The fire rat or gas rat ended up dying, but having that like knowledge that hey, this is going to stagger an enemy is, I think, and being able to implement that in the play is really big.
Yep. And so I think we can go directly to the end event. The end event is a little bit special.
Is the
Oh,
farm
first trigger I
event
think was
worth
first trigger
noticing?
was patrol. I think I don't remember, but if it was patrol, then they'll just pull it because why the fuck not?
Look at the
Pulling
like. This
patrols
is a long time before they've even gotten to. Okay, here. Oh, is this a boss spawn or did they pull the bot? No,
This is
this is the ambient spawn.
second trigger.
Okay,
Yep.
so once this boss is killed, they still haven't made their way to the farm, which is where I think is where we are now.
Yep. Against the Grain is a pretty open map, so
Here
you
we
still
go.
have to play relatively cautiously because there's a chance like getting split up is really bad, and enemies can flank you from all directions, from spawners and also just from like walking alone. So for the mid event, it will be a regenerating and unstaggerable battle troll. Nothing too much. Yeah, just to like put the team on their toes a little bit. This is the older version. The new version has a illusionist and unstaggerable troll, unstaggerable minotaur. So right now you can see that the minnow is being bullied by Shade, who is also
Yes.
being played by Minnow. So the minnow gets dealt with pretty easily. And then for the end event. So for end event, in Dutch Spice, you would hold in an area just to clear out the waves. For Linesman, however, because I accidentally over nerfed the event, there's still a lot of enemies, but for them they use a very specific strat to complete the event under a minute or two. So if you could just go to the end event. I think I also linked you the timestamp. 三
Uh,
木，你们这张图的最
here we
后
go.
事件的时候，你们有什么的策略？
最后一张事件策略主要是让暗影去跑一个开机关，开完机关基本其他人基本就是爬上那个梯子之后，就让碎铁还有暗影处理后面的怪，我和圣杯就直接去 rush 就行，就一个
Okay.
简单的思路。
So for this event, you're gonna be seeing. So I'm gonna clear out the ambience first, and then when they drop. Okay. So once they drop, it's just gonna be simple. Shade is going to be running straight to the first card. He's gonna open it up, and then he's gonna be just running. So could you switch to minutes POV for this?
SPOV. So we are at 24 minutes into this map. I do need to catch up. They're gonna put us. We got a little ways to go. Oh, I think that was it. Too far. Okay, so this is the drop down just before the end event. Okay.
Yep. So once they drop down, Shade is just gonna make a run for it.
Is the
Because,
goal to get the ladder to spawn? Oh, look at all that armor. Grail Knight with infinite cleave said sit down. But yeah, is
Yep,
this to
the
get to
goal
the
is to
ladder? Or is this to
get
just...
the ladder down. Yep.
Okay.
So Shade here pops Gonk and then just speeds around the entire thing. Because even with like the enemies, they still have a lot of holding power because there's IB. IB is just really strong at holding enemies away. And so here, I think by now the ladder drops.
Yeah, it looks like they're up.
And you
They
can
made
see
their way.
them progressing up. So what they're going to do here is they're going to have IB and Waystalker hold the enemies off, while GK and Pyro just do do the best pacing of their lives.
Yeah, the ability to get blur off like that. I have 2,000 hours. I cannot get blur to proc so reliably. Now, obviously, they are swarmed. There's constant attacks coming in, but still, it's nice to see that level of just blur. Incredible cleave. I mean, that's dual swords too, right? Dual swords have huge.
That's PvT dual swords.
But they got the victory. They stood there and just gathered them all up and made way, like you said. They're gonna claim that victory. That is really interesting.
然后第3张图就是信亨是不是啊？
深坑。
深坑啊
对。
，fuck me bro，OK，深坑你们的角色那个是
暗影、游侠、小光头，还有圣杯。
OK，so we can switch back to Sanlu's POV for this.
To the pit, huh?
Yep, this is the pit. So this time they've chosen Shade, Shade, RV, GK, and also Zealot. So Zealot here his feel nothing has been buffed. So right now he's playing a frontline tank DPS role. He's basically a warrior priest. And also, fun fact, Zealot is called 小光头 in the Chinese community, which translates to small bald guy. Small bald head. And for warrior priest, they call him 大光头, which is big bald head or big bald guy.
Amazing.
Both of them are bald, but it just so happens that warrior priest is just that a little bit more chunky. So that's why he's big and Zealot is small. It's like a very funny nickname.
Pretty good, actually. It makes me think of like.
I think we should start adopting that nickname, to be honest.
Urge the Cowardly Dog is in there. You, sir, are incredibly bald.
And so right now you can just see them pace really fast here. I think
it is interesting to see that they the players swapped the character, right? Because we were just watching Minnow on the Shade, and now we're seeing Sanlu, right, on Shade.
Yeah, Sanlu on Shade. Sanlu, 你和 Minnow 交换谁的有没有特别的原因？因为上一张图 Minnow 是玩暗影的，然后这一张图你是玩暗影的，有没有特别的原因吗？
有，一个是操作手感，如果我们考虑到如果一个人连续玩上2张暗影的话，可能操作手感会视觉疲劳。然后布纳里安的话，也会担心失误也会增多吧，也是这方面的原因。
Okay, so for the reason why both the players switched out is because one, just because both of them are more comfortable on different characters, and two is because Sanlu has a tendency to make some errors on Against the Grain, so that's why Minnow played Shade instead.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I did some Google Translate there for chat, and I see what they're saying. It's in terms of just character, comfortability, practice. Now, excuse me, hold on. In terms of like, say, people getting on to play this difficulty, and maybe even into this in terms of practice, is it we're gonna get on and we're gonna play 4 hours today, and we're gonna like really get our drills in, and we're really gonna like have team cohesion. Is it, you know, like what is kind of like focus in terms of people getting on and trying to play a game like this? Do you guys do anything like a captain's mode, or have captains or like coaches of any sort?
Usually, it's we don't have something similar to the Captain series in Onslaught in the Chinese scene, but one thing that they do is usually someone's gonna say that they're new to Onslaught, and then it's gonna be like a group of like free experienced player playing with this one new guy new to Onslaught, and they're gonna be like teaching him over the course of just playing.
Okay, yeah. So that's just again just a really strong community base where hey, I'm new, great, let's play. You know, and is it?
Yeah.
And I assume it's hey, what are you comfortable with? I assume it's like how, you know, there are certain things that what's a good question I'm trying to ask? Careers are like all careers quote unquote viable? Could you play anybody? Is that the point of the balance changes as well, so that anyone can kind of play like builds and weapons that they want to use?
Yep. Certainly, there are some careers that are definitely easier than others. For example, Zealot. Uh, I know some of you are freaking out at the pacing, but yep, that's the rules of pacing right here. But yep, the goal is to make it so that every character is viable and playable to the general player base. And there are some characters that we refer to as wheelchairs in a community because you can play on a wheelchair. They're that easy to play, and there are some of the careers that take a lot of skill to play. For example, Shade.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of discipline with Shade. I didn't get a lot of Shade. I didn't give Shade a lot of respect in terms of playing it until I tried to start soloing Weaves. And then once I did Weaves, I was like, okay, let me take a look at modded Room. And Shade, for me, I'm no good at it, but I do feel way more confident in what like I'm capable of. Especially with
Yeah.
something like in terms of discipline and like getting the blur proc. It seems like it's on demand, but there is so many things that are going on that you're like, I can anticipate the attack coming in. And obviously the way parry is being used on the weapon is incredible.
And for those being like freaking out over the pacing here, so they're utilizing, so whenever a horde starts to spawn from the back, they'll just pace forward. They'll just like do ultra pacing, and they'll go forward. And if a monster or a patrol pops up, they're not gonna care because they are just that filled, and they also have the DPS to deal with it. If it's a monster, Shade is gonna kill it, or Zill's gonna kite. If it's a patrol, Shade is gonna kill it, and GK is gonna kill it. So they're just very well equipped for triggers, and right now they're just like pacing throughout all the time, and are also kiting together as a group. So just like this amount of quick pacing requires a lot of like teamwork, a lot of team cohesion, a lot of trust between teammates as well. And yeah, as Menno said, GK is RV's bodyguard. You have the human and dwarf bro to bro relationship right here.
With Trick and Felix for real. Well, no, see, that's one of the things that
Who is
we
the Godric?
really focusing on as you play with a lot of your team members, and I've noticed this just in general, like when you're playing with your friends, you start to know what to expect from them in terms of maybe the character they're playing, the map that you're on, getting to know who they are, how they respond to different pressures, what they can expect from you. I think having that type of communication, cohesion, trust, and accountability of your teammates is huge. It allows you to push into something like this.
Yep. And so specifically, we might want to go to the mid event. Mid
Here
event
on
is worth a lot of discussion.
pit.
你们打这张
little
图
too
的
far.
中间这个事件， 有什么的策略？
策略就是让暗影自己在底下拖延怪的一个上怪节奏，其他三个人就在上面守就完事了。主要思路是这样子。
So what they're going to be doing here is they're going to have Shade just staying down below to clear up some of the elites. And what the other three are going to do is they're going to be standing up top. They're going to be waiting for the enemies to climb up, and they're going to be using this time to just DPS. So then again, if a single blight or a gas comes up, then this strategy goes to shit. So that's why this is like a lot of trust between Shade, a lot of trust between the Zealot to hold them back, trust between Grail Knight to do the DPS, and major trust in RV being able to deal with the specials.
I'm hypnotized by this way to just keep killing non-stop berserkers, and the Chaos Warriors, not one Chaos Warrior has had a chance to climb all the way up. That's crazy.
Yeah, Shade here is very skilled, insanely skilled.
A couple of Maulers got up, but the fact that the giant heavy armor I have not seen make its way up is pretty cool. Oh, nice. That gutter runner almost. Spellspire picking it up though.
Yep.
I'm sorry, small ball guy is picking it up. Oh no, the Chaos Warrior made it. But
Even
we're
if
gonna
a
get a bomb
Chaos
out.
Warrior makes it to the top, it's not really gonna matter much since Zealot is gonna be able to tank the Chaos Warrior, and you also have GK who is very good at dealing with super armor.
So the big
But
thing
yeah,
is not having a gas rat, or what was the other? A storm?
Blightstormer.
Okay.
Yeah, Gas Rat or Storm is very bad in this situation. And also, I guess some Chaos Warriors, if the GK ult is on cooldown. Yeah, but if the Shade dies here, then that's gonna cause problems. If the RV dies here, that's gonna cause a lot of problems. If the Zealot or GK dies here, that's gonna cause a lot of problems as well. So as much as this looks easy and looks very stupid, this is very skill. This strategy requires a lot of skill in order to pull off.
It's one of those things where you know exactly what your targets are, your responsibilities in what you're going to do in this spot, and you cannot deviate. It's hard to do that in Vermintide. There's a certain level of, sometimes you just want to, I'm going to kill all the bad guys. But no, you have particular roles that you need to fulfill for this to be successful. And you can see that playing out. There's a lot of, like methodical gameplay in terms of everybody's role.
Yep.
And you can't move. There's no repositioning in this particular spot. This is what you need to do to achieve it. That's pretty cool.
I think usually you just cart around, I think, on TPT.
I've seen I think there's like 3 responses that I've seen people do. One, they kind of post up where you guys are here. I've seen a couple of kiting. I've seen different hold spot directly over the elf right now, which I haven't seen be too successful. Not saying that it can't be done, but I know it's pretty difficult.
I've seen a hold spot above the elf, yeah. I think it's you try to hold there, and if anything gets too spicy, you drop down and then you start the kite loop. And
Yeah.
then you would go back to that hold spot. Yep.
Yeah, you hold pretty much above where the shade was right there, and then yeah, as soon as it gets too spicy, you drop and move, and then you just keep doing that until the event ends, pretty much. Like, because you've also got a monster you have to deal with on Dutch.
Alright, and also what Minute said, the only one that can die is RV. It's like, because on kill, you can. One thing if you can notice is that almost all of the careers that they're running have kill THP. And kill THP is especially good on Linesman because you have like around 23 to 25 elites per map. And careers of kill THP, that is basically heaven.
Yeah, actually, it's just an insane. It's just tons of it.
It's just
Tell me,
swimming in time.
I really love the weapons that I've seen so far. I mean, I'm a big fan of dual swords to begin with Elf, but I love that I've seen a axe shield gameplay here with our dwarf. I've seen multiple barrel uses, and you don't see a lot of that. I love that I see. Oh, like got tripped up right there. That leech. Oh, there it goes, the barrel right there. Staggering the troll. Look at that. Love it.
Alright, then we're gonna have like Shade just phasing the monster.
We're even able to get a blur off of that attack because of the parry. That's pretty cool. Ooh. There we go. And dealt with.
Yep.
Barrel tech is awesome, Nosley.
Barrel tech is awesome.
Nosley.
That is
Knowles.
genuinely the fastest roll I've seen yet. I think the second fastest. Wait, how fast was that? In like 17 seconds?
Just because of the phase, I mean. Oh, do they have a tracker? I didn't see it if they have a tracker running,
I don't think.
but it was very fast.
It was very fast, yeah.
I think the only other person I've seen complete fast trolls, I mean, who would it be? Look, he's got the big ball head.
I think the other one would be the one corded in Righteous Stand.
I'm gonna have to see
I think it
that.
was like a few years back.
Hmm.
And I very much remember I very much remember their team phasing a barrel troll. They were very fast as well. I think they did that under 23 seconds or so.
Try to use the resources in the map as much as possible. I love that. That's so cool, Mino. You know.
Yeah, I think one of the very memorable moments I've had with the Chinese community and also this balance mod is while I was playing Screaming Bell, and we had a zealot, and then that zealot picked up a barrel troll, ulted into a horde while holding the barrel, and then just blew up.
Yes. I need more of that.
The voice line also matched it. It was like, taste the wrath of Sagmar, and it's a fucking barrel. It's just a barrel.
RV, get up. There we go.
I don't think there aren't any issues of AI breakage. One is because all of the host PCs are just really good.
Hmm.
Even like Sanlu is hosting right now, and he has like above 100 FPS. And even if there was AI, yeah. So other than events, what Minnow said, generally there aren't any AI problems.
Do you
Because
ever run into
I
issues? Oh, sorry.
go on.
I was, just in terms of stability or issues like that, like with events, especially like say Scream Bell, how it's like so many monks towards the end there. Is there any sort of like crossover or bleed over from like event spawn type enemies and AI spawn enemies?
No. So for Screaming Bell, although I say it's 100 monks, in reality, it's waves of 33 monks.
Aha, okay.
Waves of
it's
33
not just
monks
a
that spawn. Yeah, it's not just 100 monks. So I try my best to control the amount of enemies that spawn in events and also in pacing itself. In pacing, it would be around 160 enemies. That's the max.
hmm,
In events, it's usually around 100.
I see. Okay.
It's around 100 to the point where the game says, no, stop. You can't spawn anymore. You have to kill something before you can spawn anymore. Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a lot of measures being put into preventing AI breakage.
Well, that kind of also explains to why we saw something here early when we were talking about pacing, or not pacing necessarily, but when the horde spawns behind you, you got to take the extra. Oh no, getting picked up. or put down, I guess, by the gutter. When the horde spawns behind you, you need to take those extra 10, 15 steps that you can take before you have to deal with them. You need to move forward, otherwise you're going to be stuck. I get the what's it called? The Sackrat was there too. But no, that makes a lot of sense in terms of why they would be aggressive in moving forward every time. Okay.
Yep. Okay, and then I think we can go to directly into war camp. So war camp, we can maybe go back a second.
Oh,
See how fast that run was.
18 minutes
Holy
and
shit,
50 seconds. 18 minutes
18 minutes.
55. That's at the finale screen, right? So I would shave off 15 seconds. I would say 1840.
I think it's an 1812 for DPS meter. That is fast.
Yeah, it says 1812. If it's hard to see, but in the DPS meter, the little mod on the bottom right hand side, you can see just above there under start. I think that's 1812. So yeah, not worrying about like loading screens and camera angles when you first come in. That's crazy fast. Oh, is that what that is, Aggro? When I'm in this brain, I can't be joking. I take everything serious. All right, so this is War Camp. When we look at War Camp, and did we have any career switch ups? Yeah, because now we're looking at a
Final one, so this is
warrior priest. So we got a warrior priest with the
warrior
flail.
priest.
What is your
this is
duck?
valid.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just saw they pressed tab and I could see the what's it called? Like
Alright,
the
now
character
we're gonna
portrait. I was
see
those just modded things tripping me up.
the reworked, not the reworked, the buffed zealot. Some people think it's dumb. I somewhat agree, but again, it's like the fun kind of dumb. It's like something like, oh, I got back from work. I don't want to like use my brain here. I just want to kill rats. I want to kill lots of rats. So I'm gonna go switch to zealot, and I'm gonna be feeling nothing.
Well, something here that I see in terms of weapon changes for this is like we see now, Zealot can use has access to shield and flail. Some other changes I've seen: mercenary, huntsman, and foot knight can use the Bretonian sword and shield. Foot knight can use the Tuskor spear. Grail knight can use the halberd. Witch hunter and bounty hunter both have access to the holy great hammer as well. So it's pretty cool to open that up. I know one of the biggest things ever with a Grail Knight is how come he can't use the halberd, and you guys are giving him access to it. So that's kind of cool. Live versus live, right? So.
Yeah, versus live. Oh, and from Minnow, Zealot has a important responsibility here, which is to set the pacing. So Zealot is basically the anchor of the team right here.
Okay.
And you can think of him like as a warrior priest, but damage, yes. So Zealot is also just really good for clutches on Linesman Balance. I've seen like a run go to hell, and then Zealot comes in, clutches, and revives the entire team, and then the run keeps going. Hold on. Parents, give me a moment.
Yeah, no, what I'm kind of trying to see, and Inkin, maybe you can see this too, is Zealot will, use the alt and get smacked a couple of times to try to force the alt to be up more frequently, so you're just like allowed to take damage. You're not gonna kill me.
Yeah, like feel nothing juggling, I suppose would be the way to put it, is definitely a thing. And
there you go. There's one right there. Just a second. It's up off of one.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
How
like
did
that.
a full health bar happen with temp HP? I misunderstand it. Kill on
let's see.
on kill?
So when Holy Fervor is finished, Zealot will heal 50% of the damage taken.
Oh, so if you just
gearing it.
overtake an insane amount of damage, it can still give you the.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't work
So
if you're.
It kind of just loops for you.
Got you.
So long as you're not getting like wrecked between procs, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah, Giga Stonks, as Nolsey put it. that seems to be about right.
Uh oh, getting crazy. There's one revive. Who's that still on the floor right there? Get him up. It's scary to get somebody up like that though, because you don't know how many overheads are coming. You can't see because this two fire rats committing the full combos right there to get one. But as Firewatch said earlier, yeah, I mean, there's your 2 fire rats and then even a ratling, maybe even 2 right up overhead. Yeah, it was 2. 2 and 2. Just non-stop firing at you. You're charging to that. Go for it. You know you want to. I would.
Right, I'm back.
You go.
So, that was like just really important over here.
Oh yeah, we
Can
definitely
you get
saw.
off the-
But there was a save. There was that clutch you were talking about exactly as you said it. So it was cool to actually see it be played out.
And then I
Yeah.
think we can go to maybe the end event.
Okay. And
I think it should be around
what about the What about this
156
particular event with the
or 152.
Two? That's a brutal event. Let me see. We got a troll. I actually want to see this troll be fought.
Yeah, I want to see it as well.
Was the battering ram event? Is there anything particular in that is something to be to consider when your teams are going into this?
365，你们打这张图那个射箭的时候，是不是在你们3个人站在一个地方，然后你就移动那个我不知道888。
对，我明白意思，
啊
就是由小光头去利用他大招特性去强推这个战车，其他3个人在一个位置守的同时慢慢往前推。
Okay. So, we'll see them deal with this horde first, and the vulture at the same time, and then I'll go back to talking about how they do the mid event.
Okay. The troll giving them some time with the climb up and drop down. Ooh, stray bullet. Oh no, it might have been the puke that knocked you over. But troll is phased, and we have our zealot. Just maintain.
Also, one thing that Chinese love to run is heal share. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of backline they're playing. One thing in common is that they all have heal share. So again, it's a lot of trust between frontline and backline. Normally in TBT, you'd only run heal share on like Waystalker. You wouldn't run it on Pyro, unless you were like super confident in yourself. Oh, and that's the troll dead.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, by heal share, is it like Tony Balance where it's on the necklace, or is it okay?
Yeah, that's a distinction because then you're not freeing up your.
Yeah, you're not
talent point.
sacrificing your temp health. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's the troll. Yeah, tell me about the mid event, and we'll jump into the finale.
Mid event should be around 52.
I want to say, chat, thank you for letting me jump around. I know it's kind of jarring to move around on levels, but I think this is an easy way to do this, especially in terms of VODs. We have the power, right, of VODs to let us be able to jump around like this. Did I go past?
What would be the strategy for time balance on like Dutch for WarCamp?
Oh god, it's been so long since I've done Dutch War Camp because there was that long period there where War Camp was just like crashing, I'm pretty sure. So the strategy for War Camp, as I remember it, is you'd kite loop this. You'd sort of start up the top there where kind of where they're gathered now. In that sort of area over there, and yeah, you'd get everything to gather up there, and then you'd kite loop around. I'm pretty sure is the strat.
Oh. So for Linesman Balance and for Linesman Onslaught, what they're doing here is they have Zealot force pushing the battering ram, and then for the other three, they're basically sitting in one of the hold spots. I forgot where, but they're sitting at one place, and then they're going to be killing the enemies on their own. And once Zealot has moved far enough, they're going to be also moving up. As you can see on the right side over there, it's like a tiny little bit.
This is spooky. Starting to get critical mass, but you know we got our ult up. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna get the temp HP loop over and all right.
Yeah, despite how dumb Feel Nothing is, you still have to time it correctly because there are multiple times that I've played Zealot. I spam the ult button and then I die because I didn't time it well enough. So like there's still that little bit of skill when waiting for just like timing the ults and stuff.
They're
Because
gonna
you have to
hold on.
make sure that your health is getting regened back up to normal, and then you also have to wait until the cooldown kicks in if you didn't take enough damage. So right now they're just mopping things up, and then once they start the climb to Bodvar, it's gonna be just the same thing.
I'd like to point out there at 16 minutes and 15 seconds. That's insanely fast. I'm gonna walk straight through you. Not my problem. Not my war camp.
Oh, another thing to point out is Linesman Balance, I think it is, that does this. Your speed potions give you phasing.
Yep.
So we got Decanter on a speed pot, and you're just gonna walk straight through all that. Well, it's gonna be good because it'll funnel them up, especially in a spot like this. And now we're gonna park ourselves and just suffer through the pain. And this is gonna tie into what you just said about being able to make sure you use the ult at the right time so that you're not easily up all the time. Because look at these overheads coming in. Feed me more. Oh, Ratling's got it. But this is actually kind of spooky because they're just standing there staring at you. They're not actually attacking you.
Yeah. So one missed timing and Zealot's gonna be dead here. You can see how he's like conserving his ult.
There we go. Got out of that corner.
He popped eventually up. And so by now, I think the others are gonna be making their way up to here. For War Camp, usually when you want like a very burst comp for Bodvar, you don't want to deal with him for like extended periods of time.
It's gonna be massive aggro. It's gonna be huge.
So as you can probably expect by now, Zealot is gonna be taking the majority of the aggro. But one thing I want you guys to look at is Bodvar's HP. Because that thing is gonna be gone.
I want to look at this Slayer with a pickaxe. I didn't realize that till now.
Alright, yeah, Slayer, because of the changes, now, I think most of the Chinese players run, dual axes with pickaxe.
Okay. Well, this is looking like a great axe and a pickaxe.
Great axe and a pickaxe, yeah, I probably
I
forgot.
think they're moving around too fast. I can't really tell. Oh yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, it's a great axe. Great axe for that mini AoE damage with the heavies.
20 to 30,000 plus damage taken. Insane.
So this
Alright,
is
Bovar.
Bodvar. And by him, you can already see Slayer eager to kill him. The shrapnel into the ult. Then what's gonna happen is Zealot is gonna try to take the majority of the aggro. And then while the team just uses up their resources, it's a burst down Bodvar. As you can see, it's gonna be dying in around 3, 2, 2.5, 1.5, 1,
There you go, Bovar.
0.5, and 2.
Still very well handled. It's no Scarrick disrespect, but it is very good in terms of clearing. Didn't really allow him to go to the center again multiple times. He didn't get his AoE. He didn't knock you around too much. Getting some dice while we're at it. Gonna be walking through and getting a clear. That is really something to see. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, just blitzing through it all.
20, yeah, 20, 30. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. Made it into the bubble.
This is just like really fast.
That's... No, I want to see it. Don't click off. Yeah, there it is. 20,658 damage taken. I believe that's the right one. Because you have damage dealt. It's interesting the number of kills, too. The number of kills, they're about 500, 550 on average on all players, too. Which is pretty cool to see.
So that's like 1,000 damage taken a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild.
This is just another perspective. I think we've kind of covered up a lot of the other things. I know those other videos are going to be playing in the background. So this is kind of just coming back to here. We are entering the last 10 minutes of this stream. So I do want to say thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for checking out the stream. But also Firewatch, thank you for being here with us. And as Sanlu, thank you for your insights. Thank you for being part of the stream as well. Inkin, your insights, being able to compare both what we see here with Linesman Onslaught, and all the other flavors of mods that we have. It's really good to be able to see and know the differences with you guys.
Yeah, it's been it's always fun to see what the community's up to, especially like the various communities around the world. It's very cool seeing that we have like this international sort of community that is coming together to do these things, especially given how old Vermintide is now, right? Like Vermintide 2 especially, like just how old it is as a game, and the fact that it's such a niche game, like even when it was in its heyday, and modded is like a niche within that niche, and it's a very old community, but it's still growing somehow. We're still here. It's good.
I think it's been 7 years since launch.
I mean,
it launched in like 2018, right?
March 8th, 2018 is Vermintide 2 release.
Yep.
So we're actually coming up on another birthday here next month.
Yep.
Do you guys have any sort of events, or do you guys have anything going on after this, or how often do you guys plan?
Usually it's I think in China we have a tournament every New Year's, Chinese New Year's of course, and
Yeah, the
then
Lunar New Year, yeah.
Sorry.
The Lunar New Year, yeah.
Yeah, Lunar. I'm not sure about Lunar.
Oh, okay. Because it's the year of the snake this year, isn't it?
It's the year of a snake, and yeah, and
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
some of the Chinese players will also be joining the upcoming Onslaught tournament as well.
Awesome.
So total like around 2 tournaments.
Yeah. Awesome. How can people, if people are watching you now and they're like, I want to get in on something like this, what's a good way to get a hold of you? What's a good way to kind of be part of that community?
Honestly, just the Vermintide modded Discord is fine already. You can find me there. I'm pretty active over there. Most of the change logs for Linesman Onslaught is also located in the modded Discord. And if you do really want to just play with the China Bros, then you can always just DM me and I'll try to find a way to get you in touch with some of the Chinese player base.
I'll drop a link to the modded Discord in the
Oh,
chat.
Dirty. That was like a blink strike. Oh. That's part of the game right there. You can only get so far. The game's off you and you gotta try all over again. Okay. Well, as
That's
we
not shameless.
there you go. Mod of
No.
Discord. Get that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, here is a little bit of what we were looking at earlier, all the change logs and stuff that we've been talking about. I know that Inkin had posted in chat earlier. We can get that in there as well. Let me get that off the screen and say thank you guys for, hey, look, I have sunshine. Thank you guys for being part of today. And again, Firewatch and Sanlu, if you guys have any last words, any words of encouragement, any words of wisdom for our viewers, for people who are interested in playing, I'm going to give the floor to you and then we'll be wrapping up.
Nothing too much. I think I'm just gonna be saying a rat game. 山路最后有什么想说吗？
没想说，没什么其他特别想说的。玩好游戏，睡好觉，再见。
If we don't have much to say, just play more rat game.
Play more rat game. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being part of this. I do know in terms of things to come, there will be further streams on this channel for Fight the Tide Onslaught series. Hopefully we can get some more coverage. Hopefully next Chinese Masters as well. So thank you. Stay tuned and we will see you guys very soon. I'm Mishka. Do I have a closer?